Good afternoon or evening, wherever you are. I am not legal advice, and you are whoever you are. No jokes today. That wasn't a joke, even though it was hysterically funny. For some reason, because my email, my Twitter feed was hacked, is hacked, it's not going through. So I have to post this on Twitter afterwards on my new and great channel, which is at Not Legal Advice on Twitter. That's one word, KNOTLEGALADVICE, Not Legal Advice. So please, until my account gets unhacked, and especially if you're on Twitter or X or whatever you want to, then please follow me at Not Legal Advice, one word. I'm having a difficult time getting my service restored, but who cares really about that? That's just the way it is. I did a video where I bitched about it earlier today, Elon and Doge and my Twitter account. So if anybody knows Elon and can get my Twitter account reinstated, please let me know. I'm 5 days in. And otherwise, join my other account. And okay, wasting a lot of time. So today is Valentine's Day. To everybody out there, happy Valentine's Day. I appreciate all of you. You're all, to be honest, you're all my simple and valuable Valentine. So thank you for everybody being here. So I saw a lot of information. So let me back up. So at some point in time, I was approached, so now we're cutting to the chase. We're talking about GTII. At some point in time, I was approached by some people from the Trento group. I had, I think, some calls, and I had a meeting with somebody who came into LA, and we met. And there was no agreement or anything like that that arose out of that. And I've been clear that I have no affiliation, current or future, with any group. I have no expectation of receiving any money with any group. I'm not supporting or promoting any group, period. So that's where we're going to start off with. But I know there's been some, because I've seen it on X, there's been some discussion between parties, or at least I've heard about it, because all I get on my phone is I see quickly a tweet, but when I try to capture the tweet, because the account is lost, I can't see the tweet. So it's very frustrating. But I see that there seems to be some interaction between the AIversity group and the Trento group. And I've been aware of that, so I wanted to address that. So first of all, I'm not supporting, promoting any deal, any deal, period. And I take a lie detector test on that. I wish, by the way, that somebody would offer me a large sum of money, at least to consider it, but nobody has yet. It's like when JR and I, there was a short report done on a stock, and they listed like 20 people, and the only ones they didn't list were JR and I. I felt let down. But no, unfortunately, nobody has offered me some enormous sum of money, nor do I have any interest in that, because if I was interested in money, I wouldn't be sitting here today, to be honest, working on GTII. My concerns and interests are far different, obviously. And I think JR would attest to that too, and I would attest to JR's purposes too. So I've cleared the air. I'm not promoting, support, affiliated with any group, any acquisition involving GTII or its subsidiaries or affiliates in any way, or expect any remuneration, or have a contract or future contract or current contract. I think I'm pretty clear about that. And I certainly am not, again, endorsing any deal. So today, this morning, I was copied on an email that was sent to a bunch of people. The reason why I'm going to address this email was because I have agreed to be transparent, and I think this is important. And two, because I think in the email, as I read it, the receiver was going to address this with the court. So, one, it's not confidential. It wasn't intended to be confidential. And two, the receiver appears that he was going to address it with the court anyway. And it's addressed to the main person, I think is a Michael Russo. It says M. Russo, so I don't know for sure. It's from Paul Strickland, dated February 14th today, and it's 8:15 a.m., which would be Pacific time, 11:15 Eastern. And it's there's a bunch of CCs, copies to a bunch of people. I'm the first one mentioned, but there's probably another 10 names after. Most of them affiliated with various law firms. I noticed that our law firm is not referenced, and there's a person at the end, I don't know who it is, who's not referenced as a law firm, not referenced in clearly. It starts off, because again, I'm reading this, I'm going to read it. I'm going to read it verbatim, except where I don't, and I'll tell you when I'm not, because I don't want to bore you silly. Mr. Russo, number one, I am in receipt of your formal proposal from Trento Global sent to my private email address. I've CC'd here the same recipients of that email and my legal team. And I don't know who sent it to me, but someone did send it to me. It would have been, I think, a couple days ago. I didn't really study it, to be honest, but it appeared to be some type of a series of documents that related to some proposed transaction involving, I guess it must be the Trento Group. Here they call it the Trento Global Group, TGG. I don't know specifically what was sent, but I did see some documents in an email, but again, I didn't really study them because I really don't want to be a participant in deciding on a deal, except like we had in the first instance where a deal was being presented to the court and they accepted and requested commentary. But just generally, before it gets to that point, I'm not interested in wasting my time on making a determination that may not be necessary. So I did not look at the transaction, certainly without any detail. But it was sent, and I think it was sent to the receiver. And prior to that, and I don't remember when, but I asked, and this is probably like a month or two ago, maybe longer. I had asked anybody that had a deal to contact the receiver. I think I asked multiple times. It might have included, I don't remember, honestly, if it included the Trento Group. In other words, I don't know if they called me and I told them to go contact the receiver. But I know at some point in time I must have. And I certainly directed anybody who contacted me with a particular proposal to contact the receiver or the receiver's counsel. But I certainly did not comment upon the validity or merits of any particular deal. I just passed them on because that's what my interest was, to get as many deals to the receiver and let the receiver, using his sound business judgment, to make a determination about what was best. So anybody who contacted me, including the Trento Group, I would have passed on to the receiver. I don't know what happened prior to my passing on information to the receiver. I don't know what communication may have gone on between the Trento Group and the receiver, because I wasn't included, obviously. But it suggests this email suggests there was prior communication, but I don't know what it was. So the first number one indicates that he's acknowledging the proposal. It's not attached, so I don't know what the proposal was. In other words, sometimes in an email like this, you might attach the documents you're referencing. Here, it refers to it but it doesn't attach the documents. So I don't know which documents are referencing. So number 2, so I'm reading down this email. I've asked for a formal proposal months ago and none was forthcoming. Now that I have received the proposal, I will, it says reveal it in further detail. I believe it meant review it in further detail. An innocent mistake there. But please note that you're in the midst of considering that we're in the midst of considering another transaction. So that is what it is. As you know, I think there's a hearing on the 19th of this month where the AI Versity transaction is being considered by the court. All shareholders can participate, and I guess anybody who has a particular potential transaction, or I guess who disagrees, maybe by the termination of the receiver, or has a better deal, can certainly participate. And I don't know if they will. I know there will be shareholders. I think JR will participate. I will certainly try to participate. I will be certainly watching and involved in the hearing itself, but certainly anybody can participate. The hearing itself only relates to the existing opportunity. So we shall see who shows up and what other opportunities might be presented. Nothing that has occurred to date, and I've had further conversation with AI Versity and John, and nothing has changed in terms of my non-objection to that deal. Nothing has changed. In fact, I feel better about that transaction. Again, but I'm not promoting it. I haven't studied it. I studied it some, the paperwork, but I haven't really gotten to the nuts and bolts. I didn't go out to the factories and things like that. But nothing has happened since JR and I had him on where we felt pretty good about it. So just kind of leave that as is. Number 3, and again, this was sent to me, but copied to a whole zillion people. It's not confidential, and the receiver indicated that they would be addressing it in some fashion with the court. At least that was my view of what was said. Number 3, previously, you or others associated with TGG, I think that's Trento Global Group. And by the way, I'm not just so we're clear, it's not legal advice. I'm not asserting that anything that's asserted in the receiver's letter is true or accurate, because I don't know. It's not my letter, and I'm not drafting it. I'm not stating an opinion. I'm just kind of reciting what it says so that you all have this information to use as you choose. Previously, you or others associated with TGG have made spurious claims that TGG had an imminent deal in the works with GTII. In response to that, TGG was delivered with a cease and desist letter and demand for information, where you were asked to produce all communications with GTII shareholders or prior GTII management regarding a deal or prospective relationship between GTII and Trento by no later than Wednesday, November 5th, 2024. That information was not produced. I wasn't aware of that. I don't know if that's accurate. I don't know what that would have shown. I don't know if there are those communications, so I don't know what happened. But anyway, that's 3. And I guess there's some concern. They want to make sure that there's no, I guess there's no shenanigans in the underlying offer. That's my interpretation. It's not what it says, but kind of my interpretation is the receiver who is getting this, he sees, and I'm not speaking for him, I'm just kind of talking out loud. Receiver is thinking to himself, well, this is late or at the last minute, and it appears there's some level of skepticism. So we'll have to see how that is addressed from that point in time. I don't know if there will be additional information that's provided from the receiver to anybody else. I don't know. And again, I can't vouch for anything because I don't know about anything. That's why I'm not supporting any deal and I'm not affiliated with any deal, etc. Number 4, by way of due diligence, I'll be calling Aftermath Mining in YVR to confirm they actually have something on paper with TGG, etc. So I guess and again, I'm not speaking for the receiver, but the receiver is apparently the deal, and again, not legal advice, and this is very general, but the deal apparently that Trento is suggesting involves other parties, and what the receiver is saying, he will contact at least one other party to confirm the accuracy of what he's being told. That's my interpretation of what number 4 says. And then number 5, and this is the transaction. It's kind of the terms of the transaction. So it's a summary of the terms involving like 150 million shares, the cost basis of 150 a share, something like that. But it appears like the receiver is kind of asking the question. So I don't know. The last part says, lastly, once I have more information on my findings, I'll be going to court with a summary of what I find. And that's a thank you. So I don't know if the receiver is suggesting, because I don't know how long it will take the receiver to do that or get that information. I don't know if the receiver will have that information before the hearing on the 19th. Monday is a legal holiday, so that only leaves one day. But this is the response, appears to be the initial response that the receiver sent to me publicly to some communication from Trento. I don't know if they will have further interaction, and I don't know what additional communications there will be. Again, and it wouldn't surprise me if any prospective deal wasn't in court on the 19th. That's possibility. But this is kind of done my duty. I've disclosed what the receiver has responded to. There may be some additional information. Part of my problem is because my Twitter account is blocked, a lot of these tweets are not readable for me currently. That's why, again, I'm encouraging everybody out there to follow me at Not Legal Advice. That's one word. KNOT, by the way, with the KNOT. But that summarizes it. So it's again, from the receiver to, it was directed at the Trento group. I don't know who received it. It asked for some further information, additional due diligence to be made. There's going to be some verifications, and perhaps there's going to be more discussions. But there may be further discussions in the Twitterverse involving this. So I thought I would put this out there since I, again, was copied on it for whatever reason. I thought I'd put it out there since it's public and since the receiver was going to talk about it anyway. Again, doesn't change my opinion that JR and I stated. But again, I don't know about this particular transaction. I don't know about the parties, the likelihood of success, etc. Nor do I know in any transaction, don't know the likelihood of success. But I thought it was important that you all knew about it. So I'm doing this live, and I appreciate you all being there. I'm going to lean over a little bit and see if there's anything. Yeah, it is that. By the way, I appreciate the Sergeant Schultz reference from Hogan's Heroes. I see nothing, I hear nothing. Yes, I am a conduit. I see myself as a conduit for retail shareholders. I am just passing on information so we can make information with fact-based knowledge, as opposed to getting screwed by not knowing what's going on. So that's really the juxt of it. I hope that is helpful. I think there's going to be more discussion on this topic, and probably having a little background of this might put other discussion in proper context. And if things happen, I will let you know. Otherwise, I will certainly be participating in the hearing on the 19th. I urge all of you, all shareholders who want to be heard, be heard. State your case, state your opinion, be brief, but feel free. The more the merrier. Again, I want retail to be represented. That's one of the things I like about John. So that's it. That's all I have to say for tonight. Maybe we'll do another one over the weekend. Be well, everybody. Happy Valentine's Day. Don't eat too much chocolate. Buy some nice flowers. Everybody be well. Take care.